Alright. Hello. Welcome back live with the Shaman. Here we are on another Sunday. Of course, it's Sunday morning here in north central Texas. Hope everyone's doing well. Our topic that we're going to be talking about today is the personal cost of the healer. And the first thing we need to understand, need to get a couple of things out of the way. Of course, Live with the Shaman is an adult channel. We may periodically use relatively strong language. There's that disclaimer out of the way. Also, if you would like to be heard and not just seen, we simulcast over on Discord. And Discord is live. Looks like we have Cindy over in Discord today. Clint is out with power supply issues. Bless his heart. That's an expensive venture.
Morning.
Good morning. And if you would like to be heard and not just seen, you're most welcome to click the never expiring link in the description and join in on Discord. So, personal cost to the healer. Now, this is kind of a lot of people would think this is a duh topic, or a topic that why would we even need to cover it? Well, there are a boatload of new people that are working on their healing skills. They're trying to understand how they feel different things from different people. They're trying to learn what to do with those feelings that they pick up. And this doesn't have to do with just healing and working with energy with people. This topic also has to do with people that are very perceptive. I hate the word empath. I literally hate the word empath because every human being walking the face of the earth is an empath in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So when someone pops up and goes, "Oh, I'm an empath," I want to go, "Oh, so is everybody else." Empathic abilities is a human thing. It's always been a human thing. Humans are a part of the singularity. We've always been a part of the singularity. And regardless of what you believe, what gods or goddesses or God or deity or whatever, even if none, that you follow, you still have the ability, and if you don't know what the word empath means, most people don't, look it up. So these people come in and they say, "I'm an empath." I'm like, haha, aren't we all? But being an empath does not automatically guarantee you the ability, the capability to understand, acknowledge, work with, and know how to deal with the energy of the other human beings that are around you, that share the earth with you. There are millions, billions, I think, now. Don't know what the number is here in 2020, but it's a bunch. And I've had people come back and say, "But I can feel rocks." Okay. I can feel animals. Okay. I can feel trees. Okay. Aren't you impressed yet? No. Not really. What do you do with it? Do you know what to do with it? The personal cost of a healer can be extremely demanding if you're not accustomed to know how to cleanse it and get rid of it. If you're learning to be a healer, one of the primary first steps you need to go through as being a healer is to learn how to get rid of it. I have these people, that I've known these people in the past. They go to psychic fairs and I'll go ahead and throw it out there. They do Reiki. Now, I'm not going to put down Reiki. Reiki, used correctly, is a wonderful form of healing. It's not my form of healing. I've studied Reiki. I've studied a lot of Reiki. And I have mostly found it not to fit in or jive with my style of healing. Me personally, I do trigger point healing. I use crystals, stones, sandstone, volcanic rock. I use whatever stone I can get my hand on to assist in the focus and the balance of whatever client I'm working on at the moment. So if you're not aware of your own self, you don't know enough of your own self to realize what it is you're feeling and how much of this energy of this other, whatever it is you're healing, whether it's human or animal, whatever, it doesn't matter. Morning, Dave. When you're working with healing and you're not paying attention on how to discharge it and get rid of it, you're going to try to stack it upon yourself and carry it. That is not the job of the healer. Healers are not required to carry everybody else's shit. The personal cost of the healer is up to the healer. It's up to you. There's always a cost. There's a cost in everything we do. Words have meaning. We use words. There can be a cost to those words. Actions have cost, cause, and effect. Healing is no different. Whether you are healing through meditation, whether you're counseling someone over the phone and talking them through a meditation and helping them heal themselves, whether you're casting of an altar for someone else's healing, there is always a cost to self. Now, you've heard me say discharge. You'll hear me use terms like discharge. Get rid of it. Send it back. Send it back to the mother. We as healers are not required to carry it. We're not required to hang on to it. So the cost to the healer can be highly destructive. It can weight you down. It can make you feel dark and gooey. I don't know if anybody has ever just sit and talk to someone and after that conversation walk away from them feeling dirty. So here's the question. For those of you watching live and for those of you watching the pre-recorded broadcast, how do you discharge? When you've been healing, when you've been counseling, and when you've been working with someone, how do you discharge? I'll give you guys a minute to answer because I know
the best way I discharge is, one, I have pocket rocks pocket stones I carry with me. Another way is a backyard. I have a pit out there, or I go to a tree to get rid of the after I heal someone, or have a session on the internet. Um, I do it that way.
All right, so discharging in the yard is good. I tend to, if I'm working with a client, wherever that is, whether it's in their house or at a psychic fair or whatever, the first thing I do when I get there is I scope out the closest tree. And after I work with 4 or 5 people, I like to go discharge against a tree. And generally, when I'm performing healing, I try to do it barefoot if I'm in a place to do it barefoot. Otherwise, I have my sandals or flip-flops on. That way, it's easier for me personally to reach Mother Earth and to ground what is sending to me, or what is sending through me, as it were. Looks like we've got Dave trying to join us back there. Dave, you got mic yet?
Email.
I don't know. Do I?
Hey, Dave.
Yeah,
Can
there
you
he
hear?
is. We can hear you.
Oh, okay. Cool. Thanks.
So, what formative waves do you discharge, Dave, when you're healing or working with someone else?
Um, I haven't done it in a long time, but I got my I've been a Reiki master since the '90s, and I find that I don't touch people. I don't do anything special. It doesn't. It's not my energy. It just flows through me. So I do it long distance, and it feels good to be able to release some of that because it gets built up when I don't do any healing. So I've been doing it a little on myself. It's not the easy, it's not something you want to do all the time on yourself, but I don't do anything special. It's just, I do it at a distance or uh, that actually works better for me at a distance or the same, but I don't do anything special. I just do it and it feels good, but it's not my stuff. It just channels through me. It's not
Well,
my energy.
see, therein lies, you actually did answer the question. You're a pipeline. You just simply allow whatever it is you're working on to flow through you. And, like I say, most, and nothing on you, so don't take it personal, most people that practice Reiki that I have met bring it upon themselves. They apparently, someone never taught them how to channel, how to discharge, how to just not hang on to it.
But all that's easy for me. It doesn't. It's just it's easy. I don't have to do anything. It just channels through me. I'm just a bag of bones, but I'm a good conduit. So
Well, yeah, see, and therein lies the difference between a shaman and a practicing healer. Every shaman, and this is nothing against anyone, so I'm going to throw that out there now. Every shaman I have ever met just knows how to discharge. Every shaman I've ever met just does it. Now, of course, as a shaman teacher, I've had to learn the metaphysical science to it, if you will, and how to teach others. And when, I use holistic Christology, like I said a while ago, I use stones. Most of what I like to use are terminated crystals with a point on the end of them. I was going to have them in here with me today and didn't, you know. But when you're working with crystals, your crystals are absorbing that energy from the client. Then, in the process of that healing, when I am done with the cleansing, I will flip the crystals around and feed that person's energy right back to them, but cleansed and cleaned. And then I will leave my crystals out overnight. Hopefully it's a full moon. If it's not, that's fine. If there's no full moon, then I'll leave them out all the next day in the sunshine and let them get cleansed and cleaned. So the whole point of the whole thing is there is a bit of a cost to the healer. No matter how much no matter how good we are at piping it through, at just channeling it through, our human bodies are going to absorb some of it. And like you said, you do have to cleanse yourself afterwards on occasion, depending on how many you've done. I know some of the psychic shows that I've done, inside of a 12-hour day, I've done close to 15 to 18, sometimes 20 clients across the table. It's not something I rush doing. In between each client is between 5 to 10 minutes in between clients to give myself a chance just to take a deep breath, flush down and purify down so that I am clean when I step up to the next person. But the cost varies between people. I've seen people that are naturally born shamans. They were raised in it. They are very versed in what's going on. The problem is, with one that I met many, many years ago, they don't let go of it. They feel in their ancestral raising that part of their responsibility as a healer is to carry the crap that they've absorbed.
I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, me either. Oh, crap. Facebook has lost its mind. Alright, it's trying to reconnect. There we go. Oh, that was weird. Facebook lost connection for a minute, and I know I didn't lose internet because you were talking when it went down, Cindy. Alright, so essentially what it boils down to is practice, right? Practicing what's going on, practicing what you're feeling, getting rid of it, discharging, and minimalizing the cost. Let's see, someone, Cindy or Dave or somebody post something in chat. I think the video feed on Facebook is locked up.
Oh, you're still broadcasting.
Alright.
Give it a minute. It's lagged, but I don't see anything. No, you're fine.
Alright. The last thing I see posted in Facebook is where Clint says he's driving back.
That's the only thing I see.
Alright, good. So, the cost to a healer, there we go, I saw it, alright. The cost to a healer is individualized. The cost to self, emotional, psychological, physical, right? All essentially comes from our experience, our training, most especially our experience, our wisdom in the craft and the things that we've been through. with healing in the past. And of course, as it were, the more you do it, the more versed you get in letting go of it. But one of the things I said a while ago is I'm going to talk about crowd discharge, right?
Oh boy.
People have the ability, not just shamans, not just pagans, human beings at the core, like I said in the beginning, are empaths. Those people that come across spouting that they're empaths are as full of shit as a Christmas turkey. Every human being is an empath at birth. They have the ability to feel their parents. They have the ability to feel energies and things around them. And when you're in large groups of people, here's where and why some people don't like to be in large groups. In a large group, for me personally, a large group is 30 or more. 30 or more, depending on the people. To some people, a large group is anything larger than 3.
No, my group's like 15 to 20.
Yeah, so, I mean, everybody has a variable as to what is a large group or what is a group to them. You know, and people tell me, I have a problem with large groups. Okay. What do you consider a large group?
Walmart.
Yeah, well, there is that in there. You know, people in other countries that watch our videos that have never, maybe have never been to an American Walmart. That is a feat to behold. There's no way to describe it, especially if you've been to a 24-hour Walmart at 1 or 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning with the types of folk that are patrons at Walmart. Anyway.
We don't have 24 hours anymore. That's just per game.
Well, they may not down there. They're 24-hour Walmarts are all over the place up here.
Right.
But, you know, yeah.
I know as a healer, past experience, I guess, for other, not you, my other group I was with, we would go out to the malls in a group and go out there and sit like somewhere, and we would be able to focus our energies on doing healing things with each other, but also have the energies around us that would teach us how to heal with distractions.
And you know, you say that. When I was younger growing up, I remember doing it mostly between the ages of 12 and about 14, 15, 16 years old. We lived not far from a mall. So I would do that. I'd go to the mall and I would sit and people watch for hours. And of course, I had no idea what shamanism was when I was that age. I had no idea what I was doing. I was always raised in a family where mother always taught me about energy. I was always taught how to handle my own energy and how to deal with chaotic energies around me. So that began to intrigue me when I was younger, and I'd go to the mall like, you know, like yourself, and I would just sit and watch people. And of course, we didn't have the distractions that we have today. There was no cell phones, there was no pagers, there was no internet to speak of. There was no internet. I mean, the internet at that time was strictly, specifically designed to the colleges, to universities, and the government. Average people didn't have internet. But even today, when we do get the chance to go out, I still practice that craft of just sitting and watching and listening to people. The interesting part is, with the advent of mobile devices, now this is kind of weird. Makes sense, but it's weird. With the advent of mobile devices, families and people and groups, where when I was what I used to call mall watching, people communicated amongst themselves. They would laugh and cut up. They would talk amongst themselves. When you went to the mall as a group, you actually went to the mall as a group of friends or whatever. You weren't in the mall, walking through the mall as a quote group, and there may be 10 or 12 or whatever, and every one of them is walking along going, if you haven't been to the mall recently, you should go, because it's a hell of a lot more quiet than it used to be. I mean, used to the mall was a buzz of people thinking and talking and feeling and emotions. You know, what are we going to do here? What are we going to do there? Where are we going to go over here? And today, nobody's talking. But if you go to the mall to people watch, and you do practice healing, you are a practicing healer, and you're using this as a learning experience, don't carry the shit with you, man, let me tell you. Because people are not talking anymore, they're typing. So they're not venting those emotions. They're not venting those conversations. They're not getting the words out of the things that they're thinking and feeling. They're reading it on an inanimate device, okay? And they have no emotion. They have no feeling. So everything is bottled up and is broadcast out. So you may not hear a whole lot.
Or feel.
But no, you feel a shitload. That's the thing. These people are uncontrollably broadcasting absolute psycho chaos.
Oh yeah.
If I didn't know how to be the window, you know, I've always taught my students how to be the window. Just let it flow through, man. You know, like Dave said, just naturally discharge. You know, you play with your pocket rocks, or play with whatever else is in your pocket. Whatever, right? Whatever you do to discharge.
Lately, I've been using candles. Like, I'll have a candle burning here beside me right now. If I need some energy, or if I need to get rid of stuff, I'll put it in my candle.
Fire energy is good. You've got to be aware with fire energy. You'll burn the shit out of yourself, but fire energy is good. But what is the personal cost? And I think the $1 million question is, and we've already kind of talked about it, does there have to be a personal cost to a healer for doing what we do.
Like you said, it depends on the path you are and what kind of healer you are. Me being a shaman, I will go to deity if something I really, really in my heart want it to be healed. I will pay the cost.
Okay.
And the cost to me would be either physical, probably more physical lately than any other way.
Okay. All right. Usually, there doesn't have to be a cost, but there is. I mean, cause and effect, everything we do, there is some form of cost.
Well, yeah, it's like, okay, like the other day when father-in-law passed away, I did the rite of passage. The next day I got sick as a dog because I used all my energy on that cause, which I shouldn't have. I know.
But you struck a nail on the head. I did the rites of passage on my grandmother when she passed. 02, 03, I think. The emotional cost was horrendous. The physical cost was minimal. But it took me a couple of days to get past the emotional cost.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that dam to burst. Oh.
Well, it may not have to. I mean, granted, human beings need to go through the processes of healing at the loss of a loved one, just like everybody else does. Shamans have to go through the steps of healing, just like everybody else does. But the cost of the healing, the cost of getting through the healing process is, like we said a while ago, very personal. It's very personalized. It depends on you. It depends on what you're able to do, and it depends on what your training allows you to do. I've studied some traditions that require their practitioners to hold that energy for 24 hours and then cleanse it to keep them humble to the people that they worked on. Okay, I get it. I don't agree, but I get it. When I work on a client, I don't want to hold shit. That's their shit. Let them hold it. I'll teach them how to hold it. I'll teach them how to get rid of it. I'll teach them how to discharge it. But I think a lot of the problem today is people don't vent. I mean, come on. People don't have the vent that they used to, because think about when the cell phones first came out. Texting was expensive. There really wasn't a Facebook. There was a Yahoo chat, but that wasn't really involved in the cell phone. When the cell phone first came out, it was a device for making phone calls. Using the... Go ahead.
Now it's like a mini computer.
Yeah. You know, if you wanted to chat with someone, you had to wait till you got home or to work or wherever where you had a keyboard and a mouse and an actual computer to chat. If you wanted to talk to someone, you had to pick up the phone and actually use your voice. IRC. Yes, Dave, I absolutely remember IRC.
CBS.
Right before I went over to Yahoo, I had a channel on MIRC, Merck, what was known as Merck at the time. That was interesting. But I think part of the cost to healers, even and especially modern day shamans, there's no verbal communication or minimal verbal communication. There's no place to vent those anxieties. Now, for me, I find a tree. Like Cindy, I go out in the yard. Or like Dave, I just pipe it through. But there's always going to be just that little bit that you're hanging on to. Just that little bit that's going to stick around like tar on wallpaper. Anybody else have anything they want to bring up on personal cost of a healer?
Yep, it's just simple. Here's personal cost if you're going to do it.
I've never charged anyone, so I mean, if that's what I wanted to do and set up a shop, then I would do that if that's what I chose to do. But if it's just random, just to help people now and then, I'm not going to charge people. You know,
yeah.
If it's a focus thing, you know, hey, this is how I make my living. You're going to pay me. You know, I have to live like everybody else. You know. So I didn't mean to change it. Well, I can talk about it after. So never mind.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
No, it's just off the subject, so I don't want to get off the subject.
So the personal cost to the healer can, of course, be emotional, psychological, physical, whatever. It's up to you what you allow, and it's also up to you to reach out and ask the questions and get the experience of discharging. And I want to say something that's kind of funny, but it really isn't. You will never hear me use the word purge. Right?
Nobody purge.
I have had too much experience with purge. To purge is to get sick. It is to get rid of the bodily fluids. So purging the energy can cause you to have it come out of both ends, if you know what I mean, without getting too grotesque.
The first one got us, I'm going to purge, huh?
Right. Cleanse, discharge. Let the mother have it. That's you know, she's the biggest ground pipe there is. And when you're doing your healing and you're working with others, most important thing is don't try to hang on to their shit. You don't have to hang on to their crap. It's theirs. Teach them how to deal with it. Teach them how to cleanse it. Teach them how to get rid of it. And go with it from there. So, with this, I'll give you the rest of your Sunday back. I want to thank you for watching Live with the Shaman.
And Don.
Hello.
Thank you for doing all the videos for us.
I enjoy it. I enjoy it. As long as people are getting something out of it, I don't mind doing it at all. So with that being said, have a great day. Have a wonderful week. And we will see you next time here on Live with a Shaman.